There's only a few days to go until the BAFTAs, so here is a quick rundown of who I predict to win on the night. Starting with the technical awards, for special visual effects we have The Creator, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Napoleon, and Poor Things. I'm predicting a lot of love for Poor Things at the BAFTAs, and I think special visual effects is just one of the awards it will receive on the night. Sound has Ferrari, Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. An easy pick for Oppenheimer, who I am very certain will be a big winner on BAFTA night. For makeup and hair, we have Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Poor Things and Oppenheimer are worthy contenders, but I think this one will go to Maestro for the aging transformations of Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan, one of the only things that the film did very well. In costume design, there is Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I was originally leaning towards Barbie, but with the non-American audience and the love for Poor Things in the nominations, and also just because the costumes were really good, I'm going to predict Poor Things for costume design. I'm also going to pick it for production design, even though I also originally had Barbie here. I'm going with the crowd consensus a bit with these two awards. It seems that Poor Things will be better received with the BAFTA crowd. For editing, we have Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. This one is an easy prediction for Oppenheimer, and I think it'll be one of the technical awards it will also win at the Oscars. I believe it'll also win cinematography, but Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest are all worthy contenders. For casting, we have All of Us Strangers, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, How to Have Sex, and Killers of the Flower Moon. I was tossing up between Anatomy of a Fall and The Holdovers, but I'm predicting The Holdovers to win due to the great talents that were found in Da'Vine Joy Randolph and Dominic Sessa, both nominated for acting awards. Moving on to original score, we have Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Saltburn, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Another easy technical win for Oppenheimer. That score was fantastic and in a league of its own. In supporting actor, we have Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Jacob Elordi, Ryan Gosling, Paul Mescal, and Dominic Sessa. Mild threats here from Paul Mescal, but I think favourite Robert Downey Jr. will take this one, and SAG, and then the Oscar. Another clean sweep can be found in supporting actress, with Emily Blunt, Danielle Brooks, Claire Foy, Sandra Huller, Rosamund Pike, and Da'Vine Joy Randolph. Da'Vine Joy Randolph has had a flawless award season, winning everything she's been nominated for, and I don't see any of that changing with the BAFTAs. Leading actor has Bradley Cooper, Colman Domingo, Paul Giamatti, Barry Keoghan, Cillian Murphy, and Teo Yoo. I've predicted Cillian Murphy to win here. There is some talk that Cillian will take BAFTA and Paul will take SAG, but I think Cillian will sweep all the way through to the Oscars. In leading actress, we have Fantasia Barrino, Sandra Huller, Carey Mulligan, Vivian Oparah, Margot Robbie, and Emma Stone. Without the inclusion of Lily Gladstone from Killers of a Flower Moon, Emma Stone looks poised to take this award. The race for the Oscar is really down to the two of them, and as BAFTA feels locked in for Emma, I'm more interested to see who takes SAG where they are both nominated. Adapted screenplay has All of Us Strangers, American Fiction, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I would love a surprise win for All of Us Strangers or The Zone of Interest here, mainly as some kind of retaliation for not nominating Killers of the Flower Moon, but I think I'm going to go with Oppenheimer. In original screenplay, we have Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Maestro, and Past Lives. I'm predicting Anatomy of a Fall to win here. You have some tough competition with The Holdovers and Past Lives, but Anatomy is a very strong screenplay, and I think it'll do the job. Director is another stab for Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't get how you don't nominate Martin Scorsese when you get the chance. But regardless, even if Scorsese was nominated, he wouldn't win, as Christopher Nolan is the most certain prediction to win BAFTA, with a home court advantage and after taking out DGA this month. This award is his to lose. Animated film has The Boy and the Heron, Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, Elemental, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's between Spider-Man and The Boy and the Heron, and I'm going to go with The Boy and the Heron on this one. For documentary, there's 20 Days in Mariupol, American Symphony, Beyond Utopia, Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, and Wham! I'm predicting 20 Days in Mariupol to win. For film not in the English language, we have 20 Days in Mariupol, Anatomy of a Fall, Past Lives, Society of the Snow, and The Zone of Interest. I'm predicting Anatomy of a Fall for this one, a bit of a consolation prize after not being submitted as France's pick for International Feature at the Oscars. Plus, with its nominations and predicted win in Screenplay, it feels most likely to win out of the bunch. And for Best Film, we have Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Going from the other awards, I'm predicting it to win. Oppenheimer is best placed to win Best Film. I can't see it going to any other film at this stage. Oppenheimer is too locked in. And there are my very rushed but 100% accurate and surefire predictions for the BAFTA Awards. I don't predict for the British categories such as Rising Talent and Debut, but if you have any thoughts on those or any of the categories, leave them in the comments below. As always, thank you for listening in, and I'll see you in the next video.